Where to begin with this topic? It's a heavy conversation to have. Welcome to First Gen Money, a YouTube channel for all things money and lifestyle from a millennial's perspective. Let's talk about life insurance. Last week, I shared that I was looking for life insurance because the truth is it's something that I have been, I know I've had to do for a while, but have been putting off. And it's really silly to be putting something so important off because you really don't know when you're gonna need it. And I wanted to hear from you about what is life insurance and that conversation like in your community, in your household. For us, it is kind of taboo. I mean, my parents, they're kind of okay with the idea, but also it's been conversations after conversations that we've had about this because there is some kind of taboo associated with life insurance, especially, and I heard this from some of you as well, that sometimes when you get a life insurance policy on somebody, they're like, well, you want me dead. You don't want me to be here. I am worth more to you dead than alive. So why would I want you to get life insurance for me if you're just going to end up killing me because you want the money? Those are the kind of conversations that are coming up when people talk about life insurance at home. And 80% of you said that your parents did not have a life insurance policy. And that could be for various reasons, but if it's because of that taboo, if it's because you're just not sure how to go about it or how to even get started, if you should even be the one thinking about life insurance policy for you or for your parents, this video is for you. I want to touch on some statistics that I think are really important because it highlights how the Latinx community really sees life insurance and why it is important for us to talk about it. The statistics that I'm about to talk about are from a 2013 study by the Life Insurance Marketing and Research Association. So from this research study, it said that 70% of Latinx consumers agree that they personally need life insurance. But when we take a closer look at that 70%, only 59% actually own life insurance policies. But even of those who do have life insurance policies, 22% say that what they have is not enough. And when you hear that, you're like, okay, well, if you know it's not enough, why not get more, right? The truth is that there's a lot of reasons why they don't get more. And the majority of the respondents, 92%, said that they had other financial priorities. 83% said that life insurance was just too expensive. If they wanted to add more, it was just going to cost too much. And 74% just don't even know how much to buy, where to buy. They don't know where to go to get more. And that's why this is so important, because it's our community who is not getting the information about where to access these life insurance, how to purchase them, or simply just can't afford it because they have other things that are more of priority. And that's why this is something that we should be looking at and thinking about in our financial plan, because when we really look at it, we say, okay, the life insurance policy is for my parents, but who does it benefit? It benefits the surviving members. We'll get more into this, but I want you to realize that why we should be thinking about this for our parents, even for ourselves, it's because life insurance provides that financial assistance that you might need when somebody passes. And when the study asked about why did you get life insurance, what was your primary reason for life insurance, 89% of people said they needed life insurance to cover the costs of funeral, burial, and everything that comes after somebody passes. Followed by 69% of people who said it was to cover any lost wages that might come with the passing of the policyholder. 67% said it was to transfer wealth and leave an inheritance. 57% said it was to pay off a mortgage. And then 54% said it was to cover just daily household costs like transportation and whatnot. All right, so now that we saw what the statistics are, those numbers about who's getting life insurance, why they're getting it, why they're not getting it, let's talk about who needs life insurance, right? Me, you, your parents, And to think about this and the way I think about it, I'm young, I don't have any dependents. Do I need life insurance? Probably not. And I'm not gonna get life insurance. I did sign up for like my basic work life insurance, which was like $200,000, just a little something. But the reason why I personally wouldn't get it for myself is because nobody is waiting on my paychecks to survive. If I had children, that'd be a different story. If I was married and had a home with my partner, then different story. But I don't own anything with anybody that would make them not be able to pay that off or be able to meet mortgage payments if I no longer was here. Now, my parents, maybe your parents, they have 5 daughters. Most of us are adults, we're over 18, but they still have 2 minor daughters. And that changes the game, mainly because one, they have a mortgage, and if they were both to just be gone today, my sisters we'd still want them to go to the same school. We'd still want their life to stay the same. Now, without life insurance, I would need to move to my parents' house, help pay for that mortgage, but also be able to provide for us in our house without our parents, without them bringing in the income, because right now their dependents are my sisters, helping my grandmother with, you know, some money here and there. So who would do that if they were no longer in the picture? And while I'm doing pretty good for myself financially right now, it's because I have no one to care for. It's because I am worried about myself. But now on my income, on my salary, how would that support a family of now 4 and a mortgage? What would happen to my own money goals? I've been thinking about life insurance. So if, God forbid, something were to happen, we could take the time that we needed to not work, to just heal and mourn whatever just happened in our lives. But that becomes harder when you have financial responsibilities, when you need to do something, because if you don't, then a whole other financial problem will arise. And so that's why I've been thinking about it a lot. And that's why for myself, I don't need anything but whatever I get with work. When I do start getting dependents, when I have more assets, when I own property, like, okay, then I'll look into it. But right now, I don't need it for myself, but it is a priority for me to get it for my parents. How do we make sure that the death of somebody in your family, the death of somebody that you depend on, does not become a financial disaster for the surviving family members? So who really needs life insurance? People who have dependents, people who have assets. And if you have those assets and you want to pass those assets along to a beneficiary, if you own them by yourself, okay, you gave them a house, but now you also gave them a mortgage and you want to cover those costs. Even if you are a stay-at-home parent and you're like, well, people don't rely on me financially. Like, I don't bring income, I don't have a salary. So why do I need life insurance? Well, guess what? If you're a stay-at-home parent, actually, yeah, you do a lot. You provide childcare, you are keeping the house clean. Like, without you there, those are additional costs that people would have to bear. And so, yeah, stay-at-home parents, stay-at-home moms, they don't get paid for their work, but that doesn't mean that there's no value in the work that they do. There is. And Latinas make up a large population of stay-at-home moms. The truth is, life insurance is never going to replace a life, but it helps the household keep on going, be able to grieve at their own time, in their own way. It doesn't add that stress, financial stress, to an already suffering individual. Let's be clear about that, because when I hear the taboos around life insurance and when I hear some of the things that, you know, I've spoken to my dad about in terms of life insurance, I'm like, no one is gonna, like, we rather have you alive. But if you weren't alive, we gotta figure stuff out. And that's what hurts me the most, is that taboo around it that's really limiting the ability for families to continue their life and be able to build their financial wealth, their generational wealth, because this is stuff to consider as part of the plan. You've decided that you want to get life insurance. Where do you go? Where do you go to get life insurance? This whole time, I've been talking about term life insurance. And term life insurance simply means it's for a period of time, right? So you can get 10-year term, you can get a 15-year term, you can get a 20-year term. That means there's a beginning and there's an end date. There are other life insurance options out there. One is whole life insurance. I didn't even consider those because they're for people who are already maxing out all of their retirement accounts, who just really need to diversify their investments. That whole life insurance policy is more of an investment than a insurance policy. So I didn't cover that. I'm not going to look into that for my parents. I'm going to look at term life insurance. Term life insurance is much more straightforward. You know, like, how long you're going to have it for, you know how long you're going to pay for it, you know exactly what you're going to get. Now, where do you get it? There's a lot to watch out for, because there are people who don't have your best interest in mind, and sometimes people who sell insurance are getting commission to sell you insurance. So you really have to just be careful with how you go about buying it. I am using, and what I used last week was Policy Genius as like a website to search to get different rates. I also went on NerdWallet and just typed up like best life insurance companies in 2021, and then individually went to each site to get different quotes. When you go and look for different policies, you need to understand like what is a priority for you. For me, it's important that it's cost effective. I will probably be the primary person paying for this policy for a while until my sisters are old enough to support in that way. And I also want to be able to like log into one place and see all the policies that I hold, because I'll be buying 2 policies for each parent. And then at some point later down the line, while I still have my parents' policies, will want to get my own. And I don't know if life insurance is like other life insurances where, you know, if you stay with that same insurance company with other things that you're insuring, then you can get like a discount. And I don't own a house yet, but at some point I might need house insurance or homeowners insurance. Homeowners insurance? Yeah, homeowners insurance. And we'll need different policies as I get older. So I'll have more updates on that, but definitely want to do it sooner rather than later, because as you can imagine, life insurance gets more expensive the older you are. As horrible as it is, it's probably, they're gonna assume the closer you are to be able to actually need that policy, right? Because you're getting older, you might pass away. You're at higher risk. Whereas, you know, if I went to get a policy now, it'd probably be relatively cheap. Anyway, that is my quick life insurance summary. There's so much to think about, but once we get this all set up, at least I'll know that we got this. We are going to be okay if something were to happen. If you want to talk more about life insurance, if you want to share your process, let us know. Join the Latinas Get Money Slack community. Talk with other Latinas. Let's have this conversation. Let's talk about how we're really building that generational wealth, how we're setting ourselves up for the future, not just us, but the next generation, right? Because that's what we do when we put all these things in place. We make sure that, yeah, we can hold on to the wealth that we have, but also that we don't lose assets and things that our family used to own. With that, I end this video. If you liked it, if you want to keep getting content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Please like this video. Show me some love, please. And I will see you at the next time.